By a show of hands, who in this room has been affected by a drunk driver? Please look to your left and look to your right. Either you or someone you are sitting next to has been affected by a drunk driver at some point in their life. According to MADD, or Mothers Against Drunk Driving, 3 out of every 10 Americans will be involved in an alcohol-related crash at some point in their life. What would you think if you knew that a drunk driver could hit your vehicle, kill your loved one, and be out of jail by Monday morning? Every time someone drives drunk, they put lives in danger, and this risk could be reduced by having a zero-tolerance policy for drunk driving offenders. Good afternoon and welcome to my webcam presentation. My name is Darrel Johansen. I'm originally from Michigan, but currently live here in Virginia. I'm a husband, father of 3, Marine, and college student. Today I will be discussing drunk driving and the effects it has on all of us. I'll also try to explain why we need a zero-tolerance policy for drunk driving offenders. The National Highway Safety Traffic Administration, or the NHTSA, stated that of the over 41,000 traffic fatalities reported in 2007, over 31%, or almost 13,000, were the result of an alcohol-impaired driver. Also, according to the website alcoholstats.com, this number is down by 38% since 1982. It was at its lowest point in the late 1990s, but has risen slightly since. New trends show that we're still on a slight decline, as seen on this NHTSA graph. One possible reason for this decrease is a responsible advertising campaign by the alcohol industry. So with these statistics in hand, we can now look at how to reduce them. There are 2 main ways to approach a reduction in drunk driving incidents. You have the proactive approach, which is basically intervening before the incident occurs, and you also have the reactive approach. This is where you deal with the offenders after they've committed their offense. There are several ways to be proactive in order to reduce drunk driving incidents. The first would be to include higher visibility law enforcement agents. Sobriety checkpoints are the first step. If people know there are going to be checkpoints out, they're less likely to get behind the wheel of a car after they've been drinking. Of course, this would require more officers to patrol the streets. In particular, you'd want to put these extra officers out between midnight and 4 a.m., since this is when the majority of the offenses are likely to occur. Another way to be proactive is the use of electronic devices. There's currently an item called the electronic interlock. It's basically a breathalyzer connected to your ignition system and is required to start your car. The only downfall of this device is you can have someone else blow into the device to bypass the system. A way to deter this would be to have random tests, where between certain hours, like midnight and 4 a.m., you're required to blow again. If you're above the legal limit, the vehicle shuts down and will not start back up. Another electronic system that's being created now is the retinal scanning device. The retinal scanning device is also connected to the vehicle's ignition system, just like the electronic interlock. Since the retina is similar to fingerprints, there's no way to bypass the system. Also, your retina behaves differently when you've been drinking alcohol. The last proactive reduction method at first appears to be reactive. It's heavy fines and mandatory jail time for first-time offenders. There would be no excuses or no reasons that you could use to get out of them or to get reduced sentences. A good example of punishment for a first-time drunk driving offender would be a $5,000 fine, 90 days in jail, and lifetime loss of driving privileges. This would be a great deterrent as long as the court stuck by it. After this, the fines and jail time would increase exponentially for repeat offenders. Unfortunately, proactive reduction will only stop some of the offenders. The next step is to deal with those that have already committed an offense. Reactive reduction would include actually applying the heavy fines and mandatory jail time for every offender. This would also mean accepting no excuses and giving no leniency for offenders. There's absolutely no reason to get behind the wheel of a vehicle after you've been drinking. We must stand strong to ensure the safety of everyone. We need to stop the senseless deaths of our loved ones due to drunk drivers. Every time someone drives drunk, they put lives in danger, and the risk could be reduced by having a zero-tolerance policy for drunk driving offenders. Thank you.